Vistage International, the world's leading chief executive organization, has more than 14,000 members in 16 countries around the world. CEOs, presidents, and business owners meet monthly in small advisory board peer groups led by business experts known as Vistage chairs. In these groups, and there are more than 1,000 worldwide, Vistage members learn by both listening to common business challenges faced by other members and by processing their own business issues. Members are kept accountable by their chair for any decisions they make during follow-up one-to-one sessions with the chair. More than 650 chairs lead these Vistage groups. One such chair is David Belden, a former CEO who has guided Vistage members toward success for the past 10 years. David has lived and worked in 6 countries, including Japan and Taiwan. In this video, David takes us inside a Vistage group and shows us how it works.
It is one full day a month of a meeting where a group of 12 to 16 members get together. The members are people from various backgrounds. We look at diversity in the group as a real positive. So they have different size of companies, different ages of people running their companies, different types of business. So we might have, in my group, we have 16 members, everything from retail to international trade to services, high technology services, to blue collar companies, plumbing companies, HVAC, air conditioning. So we have a really good mix. And the idea is that when you have this group of peers who have no vested interest in another person's business, in other words, they're not doing business with each other, they are there to offer suggestions and advice and opinions about someone's new ideas. The day starts at 8 o'clock with a social breakfast. We have a very light breakfast and people spend a little time talking with each other. At 8:30 we start and we go around the room very quickly, 2 minutes each, and tell the group what is the most important, the one most important personal item and the one most important professional item that's happened in the following or the past 30 days. And so the significant events, this rapid recall of what's been happening in the last 30 days, takes about half an hour, and people have caught up a little bit about what's happening. And then if we have a speaker that day, then we have a 3-hour period where we have a speaker presenting a workshop, seminar format, and the speakers in Vistage are always subject matter experts who present in a workshop format where they really involve all of the members. So we usually have some exercises, some interaction. It's not a lecture, it's really a workshop format that we use. And the members then gain that knowledge and experience from the speakers. So it could be on a very direct business topic. It could be cash flow management or succession planning or strategic planning for the next 2 years. Or it could be something more about our lives and how we lead them. So work-life balance is an issue. Wellness is something that we have in my group once a year. We always have a wellness speaker to talk about nutrition and exercise and how we deal with stress. When we're finished with that at noon, the speaker usually has lunch with us, and then after lunch we get into what we call the executive session. And this is for members only. This is where everything is confidential, is private, and we talk about the challenges and the opportunities that each of the members is facing. Typically, an issue, they come in 2 types. One issue might be simply that I want best practices. I have I've got my new healthcare budget. I've got to do something about that. What is everyone doing with healthcare? That's a best practice, and that's simply some feedback from the group about what they're doing. The real issues that we work in a deep way are issues where there are varying opinions about what needs to be done. So someone will state an issue, say, you know, I'm having trouble with my marketing director. He's simply not living up to the role. And then we hear a little bit about the background. So what's the background? What's the dollar amount? What's at risk here? How is it affecting things? And what have you done so far? So far I've talked with them about this. And what are the possible consequences of not doing anything, or what's going to happen? Well, I think what's going to happen is that, we're going to lose a lot of business. We're not going to keep up with the market. And then we have a round of what we call clarifying questions. It's very difficult to ask a question without embedding an answer. We are very good as CEOs at solving problems. That's what we're paid to do. And so in this process, we're learning to ask questions to make sure we have enough information before we propose a solution. And the chair's role in that is to facilitate that discussion and stop people before they get to the solution. That sounds like a solution there. Is there a question? And if it is a solution, let's wait until we're ready for solutions. So we ask questions. We very often ask the person presenting to restate. Are we still talking about the same issue, or is there a new issue? Is there a different issue? Because very often the issue changes. It becomes deeper. It becomes more important. The issues very often presented are symptoms rather than the root cause of the issue. So by asking the questions, we get to the root cause. So now let's talk about that. Who has a solution now for John? And then we talk about, well, my opinion, I think this is what you should do. And we go around the room and people give different possibilities. And then the question to John is, so what did you hear? And what are you going to do about it? And as I say, this is all recorded, so John gets a copy of his issue so that he can actually listen to that again and again to really be sure that he heard everything that was said. One of the things we always notice is that people get very defensive when they have presented an issue. No, but you don't understand, and it won't work because. And when we have that recording and we can play it again and again, then it starts to dawn on us, oh, maybe I didn't really listen carefully that time. So that's the day. We usually end the day in my group at 4:30. Any kind of administrative matters, we have a little bit of discussion at the end about who's going to host at the next meeting. We very often, if we've had a speaker, we will have a quick round of, so what did you learn? What was one thing you learned from the speaker, and what are you going to do about that? We also use a form called the Personal Action Summary, which is a two-part form, a self-copying form. So people write down some actions they're going to take during the next month, and they keep one copy of it, and the chair gets the other copy, so that during the next month, as we're having our one-to-ones, which is another part of the Vistage experience, I as chair bring those with me, and I say, so John, here's your personal action summary. Here are the things you committed to doing. How are you doing on those? Here are some things you said you wanted to discuss. What are they? The one-to-one is what people today would call executive coaching. I believe that we can say that Vistage actually invented the whole concept of executive coaching. We've been doing this for 52 years. And the one-to-one, or the coaching session, is a 2-hour session where I, as chair, come to visit each of my members in their office and spend those 2 hours talking with the member about what is happening specifically to him or to her in their business. Confidentiality and trust within the group is the cornerstone of everything we do. And in 50 years, Vistage has been around now for 52 years. In those 52 years, we have never had a securities exchange filing against us. There's never been a lawsuit brought about breach of confidence, because it is so important to us. So this is the one place that you as a CEO can bring your issues and be completely honest about what you're talking about. I was a member, I was a CEO before, and I know that everywhere else I went in my life, I had to pretend that everything was going really well. When I talked to my bankers, when I talked to my employees, when I talked to my customers, I didn't tell them that I was really worried that things weren't going to go well. But I could come to my Vistage group and say, I have this real problem, I'm not sure how to handle it, can you give me some advice? And that was the one thing that I think is most important. I tell people all the time, Vistage is where we come to talk more about our failure than our success. Everywhere else I go as CEO, I talk about success. When I come to Vistage, I can talk about the things that aren't going well. And when we all start sharing the things that aren't going well in our lives, we establish a wonderful trust and know then that we can be completely authentic and honest about what's happening in our businesses.
Being in Vistage has allowed me really to take that time and to be thoughtful about my business from a strategic perspective, but also to address many issues that are facing us on a day-to-day basis. It's really served as sort of an unofficial board of directors for me.
I would tell you that after being in the group for nearly 10 years, I've probably received a 5-fold on my investment. Strategic moves that we've made to pursue new businesses that have generated, very successful results much more quickly, so I didn't have to take the long road, and some strategic initiatives that we've taken recently that allowed us to move into new markets that didn't exist a year ago.